Hey, congratulations, dude. President of football.
Oh, yeah.
How about
Big
it?
time.
Cool. How about
Honestly, like you were great on TV too. So I thought you were great on TV. You probably could have done that for the next 20 years if you wanted to. I appreciate the fact that you want to get back in the bowl. Is that the feeling, or why did you kind of do it?
Yeah. No, I was having a blast doing TV and, called games the first year, which was a ton of fun, and then doing the NFL Today and had a blast doing that. But for me, it was like a one-of-one opportunity. So I stayed in Atlanta, live in Atlanta, and, was a part of that organization for a long time. And, this opportunity came up, and it was like, I think I got to go for it, and go do it and to get back in it, be back in the building every day, be a part of it. Like, there is something too, and you guys all know it. Like, you guys got this great thing going on, and you're all together. And
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, you're welcome. Where you're part of the team and like there's good vibes and all of that. But there's something like being in the building where there's results and it's black and white and you're going for it that is special. So I'm excited to be back a part of it and trying to do the best I can.
They cleaned it out, right? Then there's a major realignment, shift, everything, right? Whenever you kind of get back in there. So obviously you've known the building for a long time. You still live in there.
Yeah.
Obviously you've been around. You got rid of a lot of people, right? Wasn't this like a massive shift right down there for the Falcons? And whenever you get the gig, what are you kind of expecting to do? Because obviously you make the hire, a couple massive hires. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Not easy to make those decisions, I don't
No.
think, but we will certainly talk about them here in a second. But is that what you're kind of tasked with doing? Like, hey, congratulations, welcome. Everything's brand new. Do what you think is the right decision. Like, how does that kind of go? Doesn't that feel kind of daunting for never doing it before, or how does that kind of come together?
Yeah. So I got hired on Friday night. I show up to the facility on Saturday morning and did my HR training, hiring training.
Hilarious.
And then I was on a head coaching interview like 15 minutes after I was done the training. And obviously I've never done that. So you're on this and you're like, okay, this is interesting to see how it's going. But you dive into what you know what I mean? And when you've been around it for a long time, you start, getting into the conversation and you're talking about football and what your plans are, what you think about offensive football, what you think about defensive football, different coaches that, they look at. So you get into what you know pretty quickly, but it was, it is a little daunting. You dive into it and you're interviewing, different people right off the bat. But at the end of the day, you sit there and you go back to what you know, try and keep it simple and not overcomplicate it, right? Is this person who I think he is? Does the reference work that we've done on them add up to what I'm seeing in these interviews? And do I think this is the right person for us moving forward? So, it's
And moving football.
moving the ball, moving forward, all
Which is
that
what we
stuff.
hired on the offensive side. So let's talk about that. Stefanski, I was very, I'll say surprised that Stefanski got a job as quickly as he did after the Cleveland. Just like I thought Harbaugh, I thought he was going to get hired. Tomlin, I think if he wanted to, was going to get hired. McDermott, if he wanted to, I thought he'd be able to get it. Like there was a lot of major coaching shift, I think, that just kind of happened. Stefanski getting hired that quick was, for me, I did not expect it. So then we have Joe Flacco on yesterday. And Joe Flacco, who's obviously been around the NFL a very long time, had a lot of success, he starts rattling off all these compliments about Stefanski.
Yeah.
What did you kind of experience with him, and how did you compartmentalize, like, Cleveland?
It's hard.
Yeah, legit.
It's hard, right? Because you think about, like, track record of success. How do you weight track record of success and what they've done? And I think you look at, the first couple of years of what they did in Cleveland, and you say, okay, I like a lot of what they did. But I also think like scars are not like necessarily the worst thing. You learn a lot from some of those things that you go through in life, and then you bounce back and you're better off when you get the next opportunity because of the mistakes that you made. And we felt like, for the things we were looking for from our head coach, the ability to communicate, the ability to be direct and hold people accountable, the ability to put together a good staff. I think that's one of the hardest things for coaches when they come in. You hire this head coach and you expect them to just be able to put 25 other good coaches around them, and it's difficult to do. I think, some of what we had in Atlanta with Jeff Ulbrich on the defensive side and some of the defensive pieces that we had, and Kevin thinking that, that was a good structure that could support him in kind of a different way, and then some of the things he wanted to do offensively. And then really, I talked to Joe about, Kevin, leading up to the process. And
Flacco?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, but Joe Flacco.
Maybe bring in
As you
Flacco.
should, by the way, talk to Flacco.
Vice president
Why would you
football.
not talk to
That's
Joe
right.
Flacco?
Joe's got a wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
He's been around, and but that was part of the process of going and talking to a lot of people that touched paths with him in Minnesota, some in Cleveland, different coaches that had coached for him, different players who had played for him. We felt like at the end of the day, he was the right person for us and what he brings and how he wants to build it and what he believes in. So we're excited about it.
All right, last question from me. We thank you for your time, obviously, Mr. President, and the Bullies will certainly have their questions afterwards. Ian Cunningham becomes your general manager. You were roommates with Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles knew this guy.
Yeah.
Told you, hey, this is a good guy.
Good guy.
You interview guy's GM of the Falcons. Is that how this comes? That's how everybody's piecing it together. How do you land on Ian, and what are you expecting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a really strong recommendation from my college roommate Ryan Poles, but like just because he worked for my college roommate doesn't mean you can hire the guy to be the general manager.
No,
so,
you could.
I don't know about that.
You could, I guess you could, but no, we went through a bunch of different candidates at the GM spot, and I just feel like Ian's the right one because of his experience. Time spent in Baltimore, worked his way up in Baltimore, leaves, goes to Philly, time spent around Howie, and they do it a different way in Philadelphia, and then really being a part of a rebuild in Chicago, and kind of what they did at the beginning of changing so many pieces out, being aggressive, but building it up the right way, and they get the right head coach, and next thing you know, they're in the playoffs and they're playing good football. So I think the different experiences that he had and the stops along the way makes him ready for it, and we're ready.
Hey, Jacksonville Jaguars just went on a run.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears just went on a run. The New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. Anything can happen in 1 year, and your fans expect it. Yeah, man.
do.
Good luck.
That's
AJ,
right.
AJ has a question for you.
Yeah, my little two-parter. So have you figured out what your schedule is going to be like going through like the combine, the draft, and all of that? I'd imagine like what a different world for you all of a sudden now jumping in full-time in the front office. And also like when you're talking about hiring a head coach, what makes a good head coach? Is there one or two things that every great head coach has?
I think about the good head coaches I was around, right? And its ability to communicate and lay out the vision clearly. Like when you sit in that meeting room and they lay out, hey man, here's what we're going to do, here's what I believe in, here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it. But there's different styles. Like you guys, you've been around different coaches. Like there's different ways to get that stuff across, but it needs to be clearly communicated. And then, number two, it's like situational football has become so important. It always was, but it has become,
Got a lot more information now, too.
A lot more information. How do we apply that information? What your process is through using that information? What do you believe in from that standpoint? I think you got to get those right. That's where
Are
you
we
can
kicking
impact
field goals
winning.
or not?
Yeah.
I like points.
Points are good.
I do like points.
As
I do like points.
president of football.
President knows.
Yeah, I don't know much, but I do think points are good. So
D-Bud has a question.
Actually,
for you,
Tone's better today. I know you don't bet at all, but better today was under 7.5 points first quarter. What is it about the beginning of like the Super Bowl, getting ready for this week from a quarterback, play caller standpoint?
Yeah.
Is it nerves? What's different when you hit that stage, that kickoff happens, and then you're out there the first drive?
it does. It does feel different. That like first drive where you're out there trying to settle in and just get going. I feel like taking a hit or just like getting something out of your system, like a hit or being able to move and run or something and get a completion, was at least helpful for me to sort of calm down. But I don't know, man. I think it's all that buildup. Like when you're out there and the warm-ups feel different, you've got this longer break before you go. It's just you're out of your kind of normal rhythm, and it just takes a little bit of time to get into it.
When are you usually comfortable with the plan? I guess is it Friday? Is it kind of you feel like the hay's in the barn? Are you working up all the way up to that Saturday walkthrough, or like at what point for you? I guess going to the most games or the big games where you like very comfortable with the plan.
Usually. I don't know how it was for you guys. Sometimes Saturday morning walkthroughs could create more anxiety than they solved problems. You'd go out there and you'd have somebody screw something up, and the next thing you know, coaches would yell, and then you're like, "Oh,
throw it out! Throw it out!
Our plan is not good." Yeah. Like I felt good about it Friday when I left. The red zone practice, we hit everything that was in front of us. Then we did the Saturday walkthrough, and it was no good. So I think it depended on the week, but like a good crisp Saturday morning walkthrough where there's like nobody's yelling. It's just you're executing. People are on top of it. I feel like that's usually a good sign.
I had an opportunity to watch, the Peyton-led Saturdays and Fridays even, for the first couple years of my football life in the NFL. And then there's a little bit of a turnover. Now we got a little bit of a younger team. And I had no idea that what was happening in those Peyton ones is just probably not like a normal.
Yeah.
That's probably not like how it normally is. Ball never touching ground. We're skipping through. There's no read. There's no nothing. And then you get into one where it is like ball on ground. Are we throwing? Are we not throwing? Throw that out. Guys run into each other.
Crazy.
And then it's crazy what your perspective is as quarterback of that whole thing happening.
Yeah.
And then mine on the sideline, because I just had a good waffle in there. It's Saturday. I'm good. Throw it out. Like that. That's my contribution to the entire thing.
I remember a couple of times, and like Saturday morning, you're usually going through the openers, so it's like the coach has like prepped you up in that meeting beforehand of what we're running in the openers.
Yep.
We've all seen the script, and then you get people, and we can't get lined up, and you're like, what the. Like,
what have we been doing?
Yeah. You start losing it. People start yelling at each other. So we're trying to avoid that.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying.
That's
We're
Mr.
trying to
President.
avoid
That's
that.
President Football.
For people that don't know, Saturday walkthrough is like a mock game. So all your substitution, nickel group, dime
man.
group, 12, 11, kickoff, punt. So you're just making sure everybody subs, everybody's on point, and then it should be perfect.
It should be perfect.
Yeah, if it's not perfect, we got some issues.
You're a special teams guy. Like, what is worse when we just can't get substitutions right out
9
on
guys
special
on a
teams
punt,
and you're on kickoff? You're like,
yeah, it's a nightmare.
what are we doing?
Yeah, it doesn't look professional, and that won't be in your outfit. We understand
No,
that.
can't
Ty
be.
has a question for you.
Yeah, a lot of talk this offseason around you guys has been, hey, is Michael Penix going to be healthy next year? He obviously got hurt late, and then Kirk's going to be gone. How comfortable do you feel with the quarterback room right now? And do you think naturally you'll kind of drift and be around those guys a lot? Or is that something you're trying not to, hey, I don't want to just spend all my time with the quarterback?
Yeah, and what is your
role?
What are you gonna do?
Your
Yeah.
day-to-day.
Day to day, yeah. Well, no, I don't think it's not like, hey man, I'm going down there and I'm just going to sit in the quarterback room and chop it up with these guys all day, every day. Certainly there if they need some help or something like that to, like provide any advice that I can on routine or just, whatever we're doing. But right now, I see Mike, he's in our facility right now doing his rehab. He's doing a great job. We're excited about where he's at and just needs to, stay after that. I think my day-to-day, like next Monday I'm going into draft meetings, and it'll be the first time I've ever sat in draft meetings. And so
You're at the head of the table?
no, I'm on the side, man. Ian is our GM. So when we're running
President
I don't know if you know how that works. Corporate structure, you're in it now?
yeah.
The
President
president is there, and then there's a manager, that manages what the president.
I-
Maybe got headed, maybe even like a lifted stage.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and maybe it
Podium.
wheels in and out like the Booger Mobile for Monday Night Football. Maybe that thing
All the way around the room.
Yeah, rolls around like meeting room to meeting room, and you're like kind of on an elevated stage.
Yeah, I think. Listen,
Ice stage.
Another thing about that, you fucking rolling in. The president's here. Maybe there's a.
I got to talk to our operations guys at the. I don't know if we can get that done at the facility by Monday. By Monday for the meeting Monday, we could do it.
No, don't let them know that it's coming. You drop it in there.
Just throw it on.
One chance at the first impression.
What's that?
I said only one chance.
One chance at the first impression.
Yeah, first draft, boom.
You think you'll be meandering? Is how you think day-to-day goes for you?
I think so at different times of the year, right? Of where we're at. I think for the first 3 months, I mean, we're talking about we've got combine, we've got free agency, we've got draft, and then we start, with the new offseason program, new coach. So I mean, there's a lot that we have to do and a lot of different areas to kind of evaluate and take a look at how we're doing things.
Do you have a dry erase board in the office? What do you have?
I got a little whiteboard in there, a little dry erase.
They can do the whole wall if you want, but it never gets used.
How do they write on the bottom? This is what I've always how do you get down?
They lay it
Especially
down.
those old coaches that can't bend.
Exactly. We got Bill Callahan coaching off it. Like he's not going to be writing on the
point.
bottom,
Yeah, but if he wanted to, he should be able
But he
to.
could.
Sink the chair all the way down.
What if he does?
Like he's changing oil in a car.
Exactly.
Sit on one of
know.
those things.
Yeah, I do like whiteboards though.
It's great.
Yeah, nothing
You
cooler.
put music
You
on
have
while you're
to.
trying to figure it out. What do you do? What's the mood in the office here now? You're president of football.
My office is actually they're redoing it right now.
Big desk, small
Ice-
desk. What do we got?
You demanded him to redo it? Or is that-
Freezing cold.
Open door.
That and that
No
booger
door.
mobile that we were
Yeah.
talking about. Those
The
are the
GM
two.
pushes you in
yeah,
there.
Yeah, I think the Booger Mobile certainly has its own parking spot outside. Are you a conference call? What do you have? Do you have a big table? Honestly, what are you doing? Is it going to be like war room setup? Is it office setup? Is it quarterback room setup? What are you doing for a setup in there? You're president of football. This feels like a pretty big. You're gonna have meetings in there.
Massive desk.
Need a big desk.
Standing
Yeah.
desk.
Represent the players.
Mahogany, wood, or granite.
Like just a lot of space between the
Yes.
desk and wherever the person
Yes.
is sitting that you're talking to.
And once again, remember, you're elevated because we're looking down. They're looking up.
Always.
Yeah,
And
I don't
it's
think it's going to
freezing.
be anything like that, to be honest.
Come on.
Can't wait to see it.
It's going to look a lot different.
We are pumped that former players
Yes.
getting rolled like this. We are excited to see what you do in Atlanta. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
On your way out here, I know you're spending way too much time with us. We know. Are you
I'm
good?
ready.
Hey,
What am I
you're a
shooting?
hooper, right?
I used to play, yeah.
You're also a golfer. I think you're good at like everything, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of your
Athlete,
thing.
sneaky athlete, right?
Very thin. Are you pelotoning? What are you doing?
No, I have not been. I haven't been doing shit the last
That must be
month.
nice.
I've been just a lot of interviews.
So this is what you
Look
are
good.
naturally. Like this is the
Soft,
body?
yeah, skinny and soft around the edges, man.
No, but you're.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no way I'd be wearing that tight of a light color.
Yeah,
sweater
look like
Yeah.
Special Forces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
you look
break your
unbelievable.
neck.
Good luck out there, Matt. All right.
Thank
here-
you.